In the last video, we saw our protagonist, Tsuyoshi, burst into the hospital room where a gang of loan sharks was harassing his sister. If you missed it, the link's in the description. Go catch up before you get FOMO. Now, let's jump into the next part. Tsuyoshi kicked the hospital door open with the force of a superhero who's way overqualified for this situation. The system chimed in with a new notification because apparently drama triggers updates. Level 4. Occupation, Warrior. Equipment, Dark Goblin Set. Special skill, Roaring Tentacles. Weapon none. Replicate skill. Heaven Shaker. The room, previously noisy with bad villain dialogue, suddenly went dead silent. Tsuyoshi's sister, sitting in a wheelchair, yelled, "Brother!" like they were shooting a soap opera. The gang leader, reclining like he was on vacation, turned and sneered. Well, look who decided to show up. He gave off the vibe of a guy who spent way too much time practicing comebacks in the mirror. With the confidence of a third-rate villain straight out of a bargain bin action movie, he smirked. Why so angry? Isn't this what we agreed on? I mean, you don't even need a crippled sister like her, right? He didn't get to finish that sentence. Why, you ask? Because Tsuyoshi, fueled by rage and zero chill, moved faster than Wi-Fi at Grandma's house, and bam. His foot connected with the leader's face, so hard it probably sent a memo to his ancestors. The poor guy's teeth went airborne like confetti at a cheap party, and his body did an Olympic-level spin before crashing to the ground. Cue another system notification. Strongest body part unlocked. Legs, speed, and power increased. Tsuyoshi's eyes glowed an ominous red, like he'd just unlocked his inner anime protagonist. One of the gang members, clearly the teen clown, decided to try his luck and threw a punch. Big mistake. Tsuyoshi met the punch with his own, and the guy's hand didn't just lose, it straight up disintegrated. Now he was sitting on the ground, cradling his broken hand like baby, trembling like someone who just found out they owe the IRS. The gang leader, groaning, managed to spit out some nonsense. Nobody defies the Blue Snake Gang. You're dead meat. He whipped out a gun, aiming straight at Tsuyoshi. Let's see you survive this. He fired, and the bullet zoomed through the air. But Tsuyoshi casually caught the bullet with his bare hand, like it was no big deal. The room went silent again, except for the collective sound of jaws hitting the floor. He caught a bullet with his hand? One of the gangsters screamed, probably reconsidering every decision that led him to this moment. Impossible, another stammered, looking like he'd just seen Bigfoot riding a unicorn. Tsuyoshi, unfazed, let the bullet drop from his hand and walked toward them, his face an intimidating blend of fury and "I don't have time for this." His system chimed again, because of course it did. Strongest body part unlocked. Hands, immune to ordinary weapons. The remaining gangsters huddled together, trembling like kids caught stealing cookies. Hero. One of them stuttered because apparently they just realized they were in a superhero movie, not a gang thriller. Moments later, the nurse who'd called Tsuyoshi earlier arrived with security. There are loan sharks harassing a patient and her brother. Hurry, she yelled as she pushed the door open. Inside, she froze. The once feared gangsters were now huddled in a pathetic pile, covered in bruises, their leader looking like he'd just lost a wrestling match with a blender. Forcing a smile, the leader stammered, "Mr. Tsuyoshi, please pay me back in one lump sum as soon as possible. If you delay repayment, our young boss, who is also a hero, might not keep quiet." "Well then, if you LOL, excuse me. I'm sorry for interrupting you today." He bowed so low it looked like he was auditioning for a yoga class. The gangsters all joined in, waving their hands in a weird, synchronized Buddha peace gesture. "We'll be leaving now," they said in unison before scrambling out the door like cockroaches when the lights come on. The nurse, still standing there, looked at Tsuyoshi and then at the gangsters fleeing for their lives. As the loan shark leader shuffled away from the hospital room, bruised and beaten, he muttered to himself, "The boy's become a hero. Damn it. I've got to report this to the boss, or his plan to take the sister will go down the drain." Then, as if the universe wanted to spice things up, a notification popped up in the leader's mind. Blue Shark Gang Boss. Level 10. Occupation, Warrior Tank. Combat Power, 2,300. But between you and me, notification wasn't even linked to Tsuyoshi. He smirked darkly. "The boss is level 10. That kid's just a trainee. He doesn't stand a chance. We'll crush him like a mosquito." Meanwhile, inside the hospital room, Tsuyoshi's sister, Karina, stared at him in confusion. "They left?" she asked, her voice full of disbelief. Tsuyoshi, holding a white cloth like he'd just come from a failed magic show, sighed. Yeah, Karina. Sorry I haven't been able to visit you as much as I wanted. He stepped closer and knelt slightly. They're right, though. If we don't pay them soon, the blue sharks will be back. I've been racking my brain trying to figure out how to repay them, but I've got nothing. Zero. So don't worry about it, okay? Karina, with a faint smile, looked at him and said, You really became a hero. Tsuyoshi awkwardly scratched the back of his head, pulling out his hero ID like it was a golden ticket to the chocolate factory. Well, sort of. I'm still an intern. I'll be officially recognized after I pass the cave trial today. With determination, Tsuyoshi walked out of the room, ready to face the challenge. His thoughts raced. I borrowed 60,000 yen from the Blue Shark Gang for Karina's treatment. If I try to pay it back slowly, it'll take forever. Even if I become an official hero, it won't be enough. The only way is to sell all my equipment. But that's risky. Then the scene shift the cave entrance. At the entrance of the cave, Tsuyoshi joined a group of adult trainees, all under the watchful eye of their instructor, a grizzled man standing with his arms crossed like he was auditioning for a martial arts movie. The instructor barked, All right, everyone here? Good. Today, we'll test your skills to see if you're ready to become official heroes. Rules are simple. All equipment you find in the cave belongs to me. No exceptions. The trainees, eager to please, nodded without hesitation. Tsuyoshi, however, thought to himself, I've heard rumors about this. Seems like the Hero Union is turning a blind eye. But whatever, it's not like we'll find anything valuable in a low-level cave anyway. The instructor raised a fist dramatically, his voice booming. For the record, I'm a level 9 warrior. As long as you follow my instructions, you'll pass the exam. And in return for my expert guidance, you'll each pay me 20,000 yen. Got it? Grumbles filled the group. One trainee muttered, That's way too much. But Tsuyoshi, raising his hand, said loudly, Why do we have to pay you? You're already taking all the equipment we find. How are we supposed to have any money left for ourselves? Another trainee whispered nervously, Don't go against him. He's part of the Crazy Wolf Guild. Tsuyoshi's eyes narrowed. Ah, so he's got backing. No wonder he's so shameless. But I'm not letting someone like him push people around. Even if it costs me everything, I won't support someone who helps the strong crush the weak. The instructor, now visibly irritated, retorted, If you're too broke to pay, sign up for the solo test instead. He smirked, thinking, This kid's an idiot. Provoking me? Let's see him survive a solo trial. No one ever does. The trainees panicked. A solo test? Isn't that suicide? One whispered. Even the strongest heroes avoid that, another added. Yet Tsuyoshi, undeterred, crossed his arms confidently. So, I can sign up for a solo test? Perfect. That works for me. In the middle of forest in front of solo test entrance in cave, a spectacled official, looking like an overworked accountant, adjusted his glasses nervously as he processed Tsuyoshi's solo test application. Are you serious? The man asked. Do you know what you're signing up for? Tsuyoshi nodded firmly. I'm sure. Please proceed. The official hesitated. No one has ever passed the solo test. Not even the top heroes. It's practically a death sentence for a trainee. With a respectful bow, Tsuyoshi replied, Thank you for your concern. There's no doubt in my mind. Please let me go. The official, now trembling, thought to himself, This kid's insane. Meanwhile, Tsuyoshi walked toward the cave entrance, his determination unwavering. He paused, looking back briefly. Well, I'll be going in now, he said calmly as Tsuyoshi stepped into the cave. The world seemed to shift around him. In front of him was not the dark, damp cave he expected, but a magical forest glowing with an otherworldly light. A new notification popped up. Test confirmation. Trainee Tsuyoshi Tsukishiro. Solo test application confirmed. Cave type, forest type. Recommended participants, 5 or more. Recommended combat power, 600 plus. Tsuyoshi raised an eyebrow. 5 people and 600 combat power? He muttered to himself. I've only seen caves after the heroes cleaned out the darkness. Is this what an original cave looked like? Before he could ponder further, a goblin leapt out of the shadows from behind him, swinging a wooden stick. Huh? The stick connected with Tsuyoshi's back and snapped in half. A faint blue glow emitted from him. Tsuyoshi turned around slowly, looking more annoyed than hurt. A surprise attack? That level of power won't hurt me. The goblin froze. Before it could react, Tsuyoshi yanked the broken stick out of its hand and swung it back at the creature. Thwack! The goblin crumpled to the ground in a heap. Wow, Tsuyoshi said, inspecting the stick. This dark goblin is pretty strong. A notification popped up. Combat power check. 6400. Tsuyoshi smirked, his golden eyes glinting. Looking down at the goblin like it was an ant, he brushed his hands together dramatically. Compared to my power, you're dust. And I know it. The experience gained from real-world enemies is not even half of that of counterparts on the other side. No wonder the hero suffers from slow growth. Another notification appeared. Experience gained. 20 of 6,000. Sensing more movement, Tsuyoshi stretched his arms casually and he said, "Don't sneak up on me. Come at me all at once." The forest erupted as dozens of goblins emerged from the bushes, screeching and charging at him. "Oh, great," Tsuyoshi said with a sigh. Perfect timing. Without hesitation, he activated his dark goblin armor. The suit pulsed, and black tentacles erupted, striking down the goblins like they owed him money. Roaring tentacles, Tsuyoshi yelled, a wide grin on his face. "Come on, form a line. Everyone gets a turn." Outside the cave, the bespectacled official stared at his iPad nervously, beads of sweat rolling down his face. Muttering to himself, he said, "Almost an hour. No one's ever lasted this long. Is he fearless? Or just crazy? I mean, who signs up for the solo test willingly? The union was going to cancel this thing next week, and now I'm stuck writing another obituary." Suddenly, the device beeped loudly, and a new notification appeared. Solo test results uploaded. Candidate Tsuyoshi Tsukishiro passed. The man's jaw dropped. He passed. At the cave exit, Tsuyoshi walked out of the cave casually, brushing off dirt from his darkest body, as if he'd just finished a stroll in the park. A new notification popped up. Level 4. Occupation, Warrior. Equipment, Dark Goblin Set. Special skill, Roaring Tentacles. Weapon, none. Skill, none. Replicated skill, Heaven Shaker. Combat value, 6,400. Looking around, Tsuyoshi asked, "Excuse me, is there a place nearby where I can wash up?" The bespectacled official stood frozen, too stunned to respond, questioning all his life choices as Tsuyoshi casually walked past him. The scene shifts to the earlier portal, where Tsuyoshi, the trainees, and the instructor are gathered. From the portal, the instructor and all the trainees emerge, looking worse for wear. The instructor glares at the group, gripping a knife. "If I hadn't been there, you'd all be long dead." Becoming a hero without being able to assist in attacks? 20,000 is too cheap. One trainee pipes up. "Didn't you say it was the teachers who told us not to interfere?" Another adds, "And you rejected my healing music support. Are you really complaining about 20,000 after that?" The first trainee chimes in again. "Plus, this was my first cave dive, and you barely explained anything. Getting mad at us is just outrageous." A third trainee nervously whispers, "Hey, keep it down. It's fine. You've already passed the test with this." The instructor scoffs, fixing them with a glare. "At your level, I should have charged you 40,000. I'm letting you off with 20,000, so quit whining." Suddenly, the instructor's communication device buzzes, interrupting his tirade. He answers with an annoyed tone, "It's me, Hero Exam Center. I'm busy here, so just get to the point." But as the voice on the other end speaks, his face contorts into a mixture of shock and disbelief. Sweat starts forming on his forehead, and his jaw drops. "Oh, I think I know where this is going," you might be thinking. "Yep, it's about our protagonist." The instructor stammers, "What? That guy? Passed the solo test? Are you sure?" He pauses, listening again, then exclaims loudly, "Nonsense." Little away from the cave entrance, Tsuyoshi calmly, washing his hands and brushing some dirt off his clothes. The instructor stomps toward him, disbelief etched across his face. "I looked into it," the instructor says, crossing his arms. "At best, you're level 4. Did you use some high-grade gear? There's never been a rookie who passed the solo test before." With his usual nonchalant demeanor, Tsuyoshi tilts his head back slightly, as though posing for a dramatic movie shot. "Just because no one's done it before doesn't mean it's impossible," he replies. "Maybe I was motivated by the thought of saving 20,000. The instructor snaps, grabbing Tsuyoshi's shirt. "Are you mocking me? Answer before you regret it. I'm a member of the Lazy Wolf Guild." Unmoved, Tsuyoshi deadpants, level 9. Combat power of 1,200. Doesn't seem like a significant guild to me. The instructor's face flushes with anger as he activates his power. His fist glows with golden light. "Who do you think you are? How dare you insult me?" He launches a punch, but Tsuyoshi easily catches it midair. Unbothered, he remarks, "Planning to beat me to death with your level 9 fist?" The instructor freezes, shocked. His thoughts race. This power. At level 4? Flustered, he pulls his hand back and shouts, "You!" Drawing a dagger from his back, he lunges again. Tsuyoshi steps aside and mutters, "Wait a minute." The instructor slashes at him, but the blade shatters on impact with Tsuyoshi's dark goblin armor. The instructor stares at the broken blade, sweat trickling down his face. "It's broken?" he gasps. It didn't even feel like a body. His eyes narrow, suspiciously. "You're hiding some kind of high-grade equipment, aren't you?" Tsuyoshi thinks to himself, "Accidentally showing my abilities like this. It'll be trouble if people find out my secrets." The instructor lets out an evil laugh, sounding like a third-rate villain. "What are you hiding? It must be something good. Did you find it in the cave? Or did you steal it?" Sweat beads on Tsuyoshi's face as he tries to change the subject. "I was scared. If it weren't for that Sabi dagger, things could have been dangerous." At that moment, an office worker arrives and interrupts. "Sorry to keep you waiting, Tsushiro-san. Here's your identity verification. With this, you're officially a hero now." Taking the ID card, Tsuyoshi nods. "Understood. I'll be there right away." Internally, he sighs in relief. That was a lifesaver. Hopefully, the instructor won't pull something in front of the staff. Behind him, the instructor's face contorts into an almost monstrous grin. His malicious intent is clear, but Tsuyoshi senses it. He reflects, "My combat power may be high for level 4, but fighting higher-level enemies is always troublesome." Later that night, in Tsuyoshi's apartment, lying on his bed, Tsuyoshi recalls the earlier events. He thinks, "I seem to have drawn attention from Gaia. There are no beast-eared girls in this world, but my level is too low to risk attracting more attention." However, unbeknownst to him, two suspicious figures are lurking outside his door. One of them, holding a glowing magic staff, whispers, "This is the place, right?" The other nods, his voice raspy. "Yeah, break the door, use magic to paralyze him, and we'll knock him out. Then, we take everything." The ugliest instructor in history steps into view, his sinister grin exposing a long, snake-like tongue. Clutching a new blade to replace his earlier broken one, he chuckles darkly. "We'll split the treasure later. No noise. Don't alert the neighbors." The magician begins chanting softly, his staff emitting a faint glow. "Get ready. I'll break the seal first. Then we'll go in quietly." But before the lock can be undone, the door bursts open with a thunderous crash, catching all three intruders off guard. Standing in the doorway is Tsuyoshi, his eyes glowing an intense red, veins pulsing on his face. In his hand, he grips a wooden stick tightly. Tsuyoshi snarls, "Daipo. You're quick, aren't you?" The magician, recovering from being knocked down by the door, waves his staff. "I'll take you down," he yells, casting a spell. Tsuyoshi lunges forward, activating Heaven Shaker. The impact knocks the magician off balance, but Tsuyoshi frowns, thinking, even a level 10 mage with 3,500 combat power. The level difference is 6 stages. Fighting head-on is risky. He glances at Daipo, assessing the situation. Combat power is only one part of the equation. My 6,400 should give me an edge, but at level 4, the gap is dangerous. If the difference is within 2 levels, I can handle it. But against opponents this far ahead, the system punishes low-level fighters by reducing their damage output. Let me break it down for you in simpler terms. Imagine a level 3 warrior going up against a level 72 boss. Even if the boss is weak, your attacks would barely leave a scratch, while one hit from the boss could completely wipe you out. That's the power of level difference. It's not just about strength. It's a systematic imbalance that favors the higher level. Turning back to the instructor, Tsuyoshi considers his options. Should I run and rely on my equipment? But if I fail, it'll be instant defeat. Suddenly, the magician stands again, his cloak slightly torn, his face fully revealed. He's a bald man, and you and I are thinking the same thing. This baldy doesn't look intimidating at all. But the magician doesn't share our amusement. Clutching his scratched cloak, he yells, "I'm glad I reinforced the defense of this cloak. I'll kill you and take your stuff." He thrusts his staff forward, activating Flame Jet, a stream of fire barreling towards Tsuyoshi. Dodging the attack, Tsuyoshi narrows his eyes, his thoughts racing. This Dark Goblin set is great against physical attacks, but it's useless against magic. Fighting goblins in a cave was one thing. This is on another level. He grits his teeth, running toward the other side of the room. I need to escape. If I fight them head-on, I'll lose. Seeing Tsuyoshi make a break for it, the magician shouts, "Chase after him!" And they charge forward, determined to claim their prize. As our protagonist dashes away from the two villains, he leaps off the side of a building, calculating mid-air. Focus the body enhancement on both legs. With the Dark Goblin set's defense, I should be able to handle the landing. He activates his ultimate physique, and a notification flashes before him. Ultimate physique. Enhancement concentrated on both legs. Warning, other parts of the body remain unprotected. Feeling confident, Tsuyoshi braces for impact, but just as he's about to land, something unexpected happens. A man below appears out of nowhere, delivering a vicious knee strike straight to Tsuyoshi's stomach midair. Reeling from the attack, Tsuyoshi's thoughts race. An ambush. The system helpfully identifies the attacker. Crazy Wolf member. Level 12, Profession. Warrior Combat Power. 3900. The Crazy Wolf member, holding his both hand and high sneers. Gotcha. Bet you didn't expect a third party, huh? With both hands, the man slams Tsuyoshi to the ground, creating a crater upon impact. It's a waste for someone like you to even try, the man says, looking down smugly. Struggling to his feet, Tsuyoshi plants one hand on the ground and thinks, good thing I enhanced my whole body before landing. That knee strike hurt like hell, especially since I removed my abdominal protection. But thanks to the Dark Goblin set, I reduced the damage. The Crazy Wolf member lands in front of him, visibly impressed. You're still alive? Not bad. At the same moment, the magician, our infamous Baldy, catches up, glaring at Tsuyoshi. What kind of skill was that? How can a rookie pull something like that off? Hearing that, Tsuyoshi's temper flares. His eyes glow red, and faint markings of hidden armor begin appearing on his face. If you're trying to kill me, I'm ready to return the favor, he thinks, activating the Dark Goblin set's roaring tentacle skill. But before the attack can connect, Baldy smugly activates action restriction, nullifying the tentacles entirely. The system chimes in. Action restriction stops the target's movement for 1.5 seconds. Effectiveness depends on level difference. Realizing the situation, Tsuyoshi grits his teeth. Damn it, my skill's been stopped. Seizing the opportunity, Baldy and the Crazy Wolf member team up for another attack. Baldy chuckles. For you to have such rare equipment at this level, it must be worth a fortune. The Crazy Wolf member, now dubbed Musclehead, grins. I bet your goal is the loot, huh? Let's split it after we finish him off. But just as things seem grim, Tsuyoshi's luck takes a sudden turn. A new notification pops up. Notice. Cooldown for the Ring of Boundless has ended. Boundless skill can now be activated. Tsuyoshi's eyes widen in relief. Heaven save me, he thinks as he activates the ring's skill, opening a portal beneath him. In a flash, he's sucked into the portal, leaving the two villains dumbfounded. As the portal closes, Tsuyoshi glares at them. I'll remember this. You all. I'll come back stronger. The real fight begins then. Reaching the other world, Tsuyoshi collapses onto the ground, sweat pouring down his face. His chest heaves as he thinks, I escaped. But barely. Looking at his trembling hands, his thoughts harden. This time, I need to level up and learn real skills. I relied too much on my equipment. If I don't have the strength to back it up, everything can be taken away. Determined, he clenches his fists. My future. It's in my own hands. But then, as he turns his head to survey his surroundings, he freezes mid-thought. To his side, the beast girl lies peacefully, curled up like a sleeping kitten. Her tranquil expression contrasts with the faint aura of wild power she exudes. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on the perspective, her relaxed posture reveals just a little too much. Tsuyoshi's eyes widen as his face turns crimson. Beast girl. Stunning figure. Wait, focus. Yet, despite his internal struggle, a single thought escapes his mind as his nose starts bleeding profusely. Right. It's still time to rest here. And guys, after seeing the sleeping girl, what do you think? I mean, have you ever seen a body like that? Seriously, she's officially my virtual crush. And seeing the beast girl, well, our protagonist wasn't immune to the same reaction we all might have. As he took in her stunning figure, he thought the scent of cherry blossoms. She always smells like cherry blossoms. But then his little guy had a mind of its own, and things started to escalate. His thoughts? If I don't take action now, am I even a man? Just as he was about to lose himself in the moment, a new system notification snapped him out of his daydream. System alert. Ultimate physique and adrenaline surge activated. enhancing muscles, speed, and key areas throughout the body. Hearing this, he was jolted back to reality, recalling the moment specifically to that tense escape from the third-grade villains. The sudden reminder cooled him down instantly. The memory doused his fiery thoughts, and soon enough his little guy calmed down. Kneeling like a defeated man, he muttered to himself, No, this isn't the time for that. I need to overcome the crisis back in my world first. I need to focus on leveling up and acquiring skills. The next morning, the beast girl slowly woke up, stretching and letting out a soft yawn. She looked completely at ease, the morning light gently casting a glow over her features. I can't speak for everyone else, but for me, there's something oddly captivating about the way she yawns. It just adds to her charm. There was something undeniably captivating about the way she stretched, the way her body moved so naturally. Even the way she yawned made my heart race a bit. For now, let's get back to the story. Stretching lazily, she said, I slept really well for the first time in a while. As for our protagonist, he sat on a chair, dark circles under his eyes, clearly restless from lack of sleep. He let out a sigh and turned to the beast girl. Yeah, I slept really well too, he said, trying to sound casual. But, could you show me another piece of clothing? Then we can get going. The beast girl paused, a look of confusion crossing her face for a moment. She blinked, trying to process what he just said. Later in the middle of a forest, she said, to learn skills, she began, you need a skill scroll. A shortcut is to study at the Combat Academy. Our protagonist, walking with the beast girl, approached the towering gates of the Beastman Tribe Combat Academy. A burly guard standing at the entrance waved them down and sneered. Are you the human the Beast King has taken an interest in? Let me make this clear. There are conditions for enrollment. First, you must reach level 6. Second, you must pass the entrance exam. Right now, you're only level 4, so it's too early for you to even think about stepping inside. Hearing this, our protagonist sighed and muttered, what a hassle. The beast girl, noticing his disappointment, quickly chimed in, I'm sorry, master. I've been training in the cave for so long that I didn't think there would be such conditions. Looking at her, the protagonist softened his expression and replied, It's okay. I need to level up anyway. I'll come back later. Encouraged by his words, the beast girl smiled and said, Yes. In that case, you can try leveling up in the nearby low-level cave. It's not far from here. But before they could move, the guard interjected with a sneer. Filthy human. The beast tribes do not acknowledge your kind. If it weren't for the Beast King's command, you'd already be torn to shreds. Even if you somehow reach level 6, you'll never pass the exam. And dragging around this lowly mutt? What a perfect pair of losers. The beast girl's smile faded as her expression darkened. Thoughts raced through her mind. This is my fault. Master is so kind that I forgot my place. I'm just a burden to him. If I stay by his side, I'll only cause more trouble. I have to explain everything to him properly and say goodbye soon. Meanwhile, the protagonist's patience snapped. Eyes blazing, he clenched his fists and marched toward the guard with an intensity that made the air feel heavier. Seeing this, the beast girl called out behind him, Master. Our protagonist suddenly grabbed the guard by his collar, lifting him slightly off the ground. His eyes glowed with anger as he growled, You bastard. What did you just say? Should I tear your mouth open? The intensity in his voice left no room for argument. His gaze bore into the guard as he added, Apologize to her. Right. Now. The guard, brushing off the threat, smirked and said, I was just stating the facts. That girl is a hybrid, half-human, half-beast. In other words, she's a half-breed. A disgrace to us beastmen. She doesn't even have a proper name. A system notification suddenly appeared in front of our protagonist. Half-beast. One who is not a pure beastman, generally regarded as a shameful existence by beastmen. Born of a human and a beastman, half-beasts are shunned for tainting bloodlines, rejected by both races, and rarely given names. Most live lonely, abandoned lives. As he read the notification, his mind flashed back to when he first met the beast girl. His eyes narrowed. So that's why her name didn't appear when I used the divine eye earlier. She didn't have one in the first place. When his focus returned to the guard, he noticed other beastmen armed with bows, arrows trained on him. The guard sneered. Don't get cocky just because the Beast King has taken an interest in you. If you disrespect a beastman warrior, I'll punish you. Equally, pass the exam, and maybe I'll consider apologizing to that girl. But we both know a human could never accomplish that. The words stung, and for a moment, our protagonist froze. From behind, the beast girl tugged on his sleeve and whispered, "Master, you're absolutely right. There's no need to get involved because of someone like me." Her words made his chest tighten. He released the guard, his voice calm but firm. "Sakura," he declared, looking at her. "Her name is Sakura. Remember it." The beast girl's eyes widened in shock. Her mind raced. "Sakura. Is that the name Master gave me?" The guard snorted, but before he could respond, our protagonist turned and walked away. "Remember what I said," he called over his shoulder. "If I pass, you'll apologize properly." He gently placed a hand on the beast girl's shoulder and said, "Let's go, Sakura. Time to level up." As they headed towards a nearby mountain, our protagonist spotted fox beastmen patrolling the area. His eyes gleamed with excitement. "Fox beastmen? Rare. Let's level up with these guys." The beast girl hesitated before speaking. "Master," she asked softly, "why did you name me Sakura?" He rubbed the back of his head awkwardly. "You don't like it? I just named you on a whim." Her cheeks flushed as she waved her hands frantically. "No, I like it. I love it," she exclaimed, then lowered her head shyly. "I just want to know how you came up with it." Her curiosity made him even more flustered. Rubbing his cheek, he muttered, "Well, it's a bit embarrassing, but you always have a faint scent of cherry blossoms, graceful and calm. I thought Sakura suited you, so I named you that. Sorry if I overstepped." Her eyes glistened with emotion as she suddenly hugged him from behind. "Thank you, Master. I really love this name." He scratched his head awkwardly, a faint smile on his lips. "You're welcome." Both of them stood at the entrance of a dark cave. The protagonist turned to the beast girl, a confident smile on his face. "So, shall we get started, Sakura?" She handed him a dagger, her tail swishing slightly as she asked, "How does the dagger I bought earlier suit you?" Holding the weapon in his hand, he examined it carefully. "It's not a top-notch item," he said with a smirk, "but it's much stronger than a goblin club." He lifted the dagger in front of him, excitement flashing in his eyes. "Yeah, I'm satisfied. After lifting that hammer, any weapon feels light." Inside the cave, they encountered a group of beastmen with fox-like features. The air felt tense as they silently observed their intruders. The system notification popped up. "Fox beastmen, members of the fox tribe. They are quick and more intelligent than regular beastmen. Adventurers who underestimate them will regret it." Seeing this, the protagonist turned to Sakura. "Sakura, stay in the back and teach me as usual. I want the experience, so don't interfere." Sakura gave him a slight pout, her ears drooping. "Yes, you called my name," she said, her voice soft yet pleased. With the dagger firmly in his grip, the protagonist grinned. "Let's go. Time to try out my new dagger." He launched himself at the nearest beastman. From behind, Sakura called out, "Fox beastmen are nimble, so hold back on wide swings." As he struck at one of them, he thought to himself, "They really are fast." In a split second, another beastman attacked from his blind spot. Instinctively, he activated his ultimate physique, raising his hand just in time. The beastman's weapon shattered on impact with his arm. The other beastmen froze, their confidence crumbling. The protagonist stared them down, his voice steady but menacing. "With this level of combat power, you can't even scratch me." From a distance, Sakura watched in awe. Master's defense is incredible, she thought, her eyes sparkling. As expected of someone chosen by the Iron Hammer. Low-level enemies are no match for him. With this, I can level up quickly. Without pausing, the protagonist charged at the remaining fox beastmen, taking them down one by one. His movements became sharper, his strikes more precise. "Against agile enemies, speed matters more than power," he muttered, finally understanding their weakness. After clearing the area, he paused to examine his dagger, his breathing steady. "Leveling up is fast in this world," he said to himself. "There's no need to compete for resources, which means I can monopolize all the experience." But then, his expression darkened. He clenched the dagger, his mind replaying memories of past battles. Those three, he thought grimly, recalling the faces of the third-grade villains he faced in the real world. The level 9 instructor, the muscle-headed level 12 brute, and finally, the level 10 Baldy. He frowned, calculating his chances. Even with my high combat power, the level difference makes it impossible. Their skills and coordination are too much. I'm at a numerical disadvantage. His resolve hardened. I need to close the level gap and acquire more skills. There's no other way. And with that, the protagonist's expression hardened, his eyes gleaming with determination as he strode deeper into the cave. Let's level up to 6 all at once, Sakura, he declared firmly. I'll make that arrogant beastman bow his head. Behind him, Sakura's ears perked up, and her tail swayed with excitement. Clasping both hands close to her chest, she said with a bright voice, "Yes, master." Her enthusiasm echoed in the cave as the two ventured further. Alright, that's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for sticking around till the end. You're the real MVP. If you're itching for more of this series, drop a comment and let me know. And hey, if you want front row seats to the next part, go ahead and subscribe, tap that bell, and get ready for your notification dance when the next video drops. Catch you next time.